The pop-up in surfing is arguably the trickiest hurdle to overcome in your early surfing life. A great takeoff can make a wave. Poor takeoff can ruin one and even stagnate your progression as a surfer, holding you back until you optimise the technique. Today, I want to help you correct some of the most common mistakes that I see as a professional surf coach. Now, let's progress your surfing.
What's up guys, my name is Kale Brock, I'm a surfer and a filmmaker, and today I want to have a look at why your pop-up isn't progressing, why you're still struggling with that damn takeoff. Let's have a look. This episode is brought to you by the Beginner Surfer's Roadmap. It's my new online course designed to take you from a beginner surfer all the way through to intermediate. Check it out at the link in the description below or head to thesurfersroadmap.com. Let's jump in. This is an interesting one because the back foot will actually often land first, but when we focus on stepping that foot down first, that causes a lot of issues. So when our back leg lands first, what it does, it tends to actually lock off the hips to facing the beach, instead of allowing them to open up in the direction of travel with the wave. So by our back leg landing, our hips automatically sort of enter this ski position, where it's almost as if we're trying to pop up with both feet facing forward on the board, sitting parallel to each other. That's obviously not how people surf. The other thing that it does is, because of that locked hip, it restricts to a very large degree the amount of space available beneath the surfer in order for them to then swing their leading leg through and onto the surfboard. I see this time and time again, where surfers who are focusing on landing that back foot first end up trapped at the top of the wave and unable to really sort of open up in that sort of drawn arrow kind of position. And you can see here how it's impacting the takeoff in quite a significant way. So my prescription for that is to simply focus on the front leg first. So ideally we want to actually pull under us that leading leg, in a lot of these examples the left leg, to try and land that on the board first. What that will do, we'll get that left foot forward of the hips without it getting trapped there, and the right hip will start to sort of pull back behind you, which is much more conducive to landing in a good solid surf position. The next mistake that I see is people tilting either to the side or backward with their pop-up, and this has a really big impact on their pop-up success rate. For instance, we talk about this in the Beginner Surfer's Roadmap, my new online course. Even though sometimes you want to actually paddle in on an angle for a wave, you don't want to pop up on an angle. Okay, the board can be traveling at a 45-degree angle, that's fine, but you still have to be straight over the board in order to pop up successfully. If you try and pop up and preempt the wave and try and lean across, you end up disconnecting from your surfboard. So your surfboard, take this sort of screen grab for example, your surfboard wants to travel straight and needs foot placement in order to turn. Okay, so you're trying to actually tilt too early, and as a result you're going off in one direction to this side of screen, and the board's still trying to sort of continue on that 45-degree angle. It's a very difficult way to enter a wave. A lot of this I find comes out of nerves. Okay, a lack of confidence to actually take the drop on a wave, and this whole idea of trying to, I guess, preempt what the wave is doing and trying to get ahead of it so that you don't end up in that awkward power zone, which is sort of that scary place to fall off. So I see it time and time again. If you look at this example here, the surfer is in quite a good position, good angle, but what ends up happening is they're in a rush to get away from this sort of steep part of the wave, the pocket we might call that, and as a result they tilt over here to the side and end up just sort of toppling over. Again, this is a very common thing that I see from people who are just lacking that confidence to just take the drop, which is actually the advice that I give a lot of people. It's to actually just commit to taking the drop itself. So if we look at a sort of similar example here, where we see the surfer, rather than tilting to the side, they're actually leaning back and leaning away from that steep pocket area. The same sort of issues occur. The board ends up going into like a strong stall instead of a nice forward planing motion. And what happens is the surfer goes through that bucket and ends up sort of just scooping out and sort of sliding out behind them as their board goes forward. Again, not committing to the takeoff really has a big sort of impact. So the cue there, the prescription to fix that, is to always pop up above your surfboard. Once your feet hit the deck, that's when you can do some turning. The next common mistake that I see, due to a wide range of factors, is people popping up with their head very low and their bum very high. This is not a fantastic situation to be in for a variety of reasons. Number one, you end up having to do a sort of hinge at the hips, like a deadlift style movement, back up in order to get into your surfing stance, whilst falling down a wave on a surfboard. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's not stable. Okay? The second thing that we see here is where you look is where you go. This is one of the original sort of fundamental ideas of surfing that I've talked about a lot in previous lectures and in our new course. If the surfer is looking down here towards the bottom of the wave, that pocket, that sort of flat water, the dead zone, chances are that's where they're going to end up. What happens is we see all this weight being driven onto the surfer's upper body whilst they're traveling down the wave, which again makes it very hard for them to then reverse that pressure and lift up from the hips. A much more successful strategy would be like this side of screen here, where the bum is lower than the head when the feet hit the deck. This is really, really important. What this does, it enables me to have a nice clear view of what the wave is going to do, and it also enables me to find a nice strong coiled spring loaded position to start my wave off with, because we all know, as I've spoken about before, how you enter the wave is everything. If you enter the wave upside down with your bum up high, it's going to be very hard to correct that and catch up and get back up into the power zone. Whereas out of this position here, you can see on the left of screen, I'm able to go straight into that first bottom turn before I end up in that sort of dead water, which is really important if we're looking at small waves and speed management. So the prescription there is to think more about swinging the legs under you and allowing the bum to naturally sort of come back low during the pop-up. If you put too much emphasis on the bum going high to swing the legs through, which again can be due to mobility issues, weight issues. A lot of guys, if they've got a big belly, they'll struggle with this. It can really have a big detrimental impact on the rest of your ride. So those are some helpful tips for you guys to start progressing your surfing whilst checking off that big daunting box of the takeoff, the pop-up. It's one of the most complicated parts of surfing, but once you get it, it changes everything. Guys, make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments what else you're struggling with your surfing, and make sure you check out my new course, the Beginner Surfer's Roadmap, on thesurfersroadmap.com. The link is in the description below. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Yep.